Hello, Kubrick Lover 1972 here. Of course, you know me as Brian. I just put up an announcement for a guitar stream that I'm doing tomorrow, approximately 6 or 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Maybe it won't start right at that time. It might start like 7:40. Like last 2 weeks, it's been like 7:40. But this video is targeting something else. It's a shout-outs video. And if you know my channel, you know like a few things about it. I'll tell you like two of the things about it. Two of the subjects I tend to, go towards are movies and music, and you can sort of see an abundance in that on my channel. And I've done shout-outs to people that are movie friends of mine on YouTube, but I don't think I've ever done any targeted at people I know in the music community on YouTube. So I'm going to try and do that. And instead of doing a person-by-person video, I'm going to just do a whole bunch of shout-outs. And I do have a lot of people on this list. I'm going to have to look at it in a second on my notes app or whatever on my Mac. But there's tons of people on YouTube that I've become familiar with on the various streams and their channels. So obviously I'm probably going to miss somebody because there's loads and loads of people. So I'm probably going to have to do a follow-up video about this because I've got a lot of people listed and I'm going to try to get through it fast. I don't want to. I just want to do some shout-outs and get people aware of other people on YouTube. So here's the first one. So I'm going to get to the list and I'll list off the names. Okay, so let's start off. I've got 45 names here, so I'll try and get through them relatively fast. So the first one is Metalhead Hippie, also known as Jeff. And I can't see the camera right now because the list is covering it, but I'll just go on. So he has a show at 9 p.m. on Sundays and 4 p.m. on Fridays, which is both Eastern Time. On Sundays he does covers and originals. On Fridays he does originals. He also does a Dead Hand Radio. I think he does that on Saturdays and maybe another day of the week. And on Saturdays I think it starts at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. So you can submit music to him and he can play it for you. And he says all you have to do is ask. So let me get on to the next person. Thomas Christ is another person who does shows like Metalhead Hippie, where he streams a bunch of people's music, and you just submit a form to him, and he plays your music as well. Both of these guys, they play a lot of people's music, but at a certain point they have to cut off because they can only get so many people on the show, even though they play a lot of people, and it goes on for a few hours or a little bit more than a few hours. And then we got Ron Ward, Homegrown Indie Live, which he's the same sort of kind of setup as Metalhead Hippie and Thomas Christ, he shares people's music, and I think he usually does that on a Thursday. So some of these people I might not know exactly when they stream, but I think it's usually on a Thursday with him. And then next up we got Camp GMAY. He usually streams on a Saturday now, and he usually streams, I believe, I want to say around 9 p.m. Eastern Time, and it usually, or is it 10 p.m.? I think it's 10 p.m. Eastern Time, but it usually goes to about 3 a.m. Eastern Time. So that's, and his thing is his show is basically open mic. So people actually, with these other shows that I previously mentioned, people record their videos and then submit them to Metalhead Hippie, Thomas Christ, or Ron Ward. In the case of Camp GMAY, he wants you to actually come on and like play your guitar, your piano, your sing or whatever. So that's Camp GMAY. Next up is Pete Johns. He does like a lot of GarageBand. I don't know all the music software programs, but he does a lot of tutorial kind of things like that, and he shares also people's music. And then you got JADE Starr, and she does interviews during the week, I believe, and maybe I should put my glasses on. Well, maybe I should. I don't know. But anyways, JADE Starr. So she does interviews, but she also does like workshops, and she mixes people's stuff and tries, makes the music better and everything. So next up, we got Dan Anderson. He streams Mondays through Saturdays. I don't know the exact time he streams. I don't know if there's an exact time he aims for, but it's approximately, I would say, like 1:30 p.m. or so, or 2 p.m. to about maybe 3:30 p.m., I think. Something like that. So that's Dan Anderson. He has a moderator in the chat. Her name's Leenie Perez, also known as Leenie. I also call her Perezian because Dan calls me Brexian or Brexian or Brex. He just nicknamed me that. So they sort of named me that. But anyways, I'm digressing. She has her own channel, Leenie Perez. I'm gonna list all these people in a box underneath the video so you can see their names. But anyways, so she has her own channel. She likes to, or she does covers with her ukulele. And sometimes she screws up, and while she's playing, which is sort of funny. And, she's also done some collabs and covers of music on other people's channels on her channel. Let's see who's next. Oh, next up is Rick Romanelli. He streams on Mondays about 5 p.m. Eastern Time. He streams for about 2 hours. Dan and Rick are they're guitar streamers. And both of them have backing tracks when they play their guitars. And both of them are like, is ad-libbing the right word? I don't know. Improvise. They're just jamming. They don't have a set song that they're playing. They just jam off the backing tracks. Next up, I'm getting to well, actually, let me see. I skipped somebody. Okay, so Rise the Dark Leela is another person that streams. She streams on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I think, and if anything's wrong here, please forgive me, but I think it's 4:20 p.m. Eastern Time, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. And I think she does something different for each day. Like, I think she constructs a song on Monday, Tuesday, I can't remember. And then Wednesday, I think she does, maybe she jams or just sings, or does an open mic kind of a thing, or I don't know, something like that. I don't know, something like that. Okay, next up, I think these next people I'm bringing up, well, there's another person that streams. There's a few other people that stream, but I'm going to bring up some people now that they don't really stream. They put up videos on their channel, but they don't really stream. At least, not that I know of. Maybe that's a different case. There are probably some that do here and there. But anyways, next up is Colorful Energy. Not spelled like COLORFUL, but COLOURFUL Energy. So she does a lot of techno kind of music. She's dipped her toes in sort of other types of music as well. But she does a lot of creative techno stuff that's really unbelievable to hear. Next up, we got Lori's Mishmosh. She's a keyboardist, pianist. She does a lot. She does a lot of covers. Some of these people you will see on people's shows like Metalhead Hippies, Thomas Christ, and other YouTubers. You got Dwight Bailey. He's a guitarist, otherwise known as the Hitman. That Metalhead Hippie has dubbed him. But yeah, he plays a guitar. That creates a song for his channel. Next up, we got. I'm sorry if I'm rushed. I'm not trying to I'm trying to get through some of these. I don't want to make this too long a video, but I got a fair amount of names. Next up is Kid King Music. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to. His music is good. I can't. He did one that was like a Clockwork Orange type video, and he's done some one with The Exorcist in it, and all these people I'm recommending, they're very good musicians. Next up, we have Rhodey's Jam Cave. They're a band. They have their own. It's sort of like a man cave. You know, they have their drummer and they have a bass player, and I think they have 2 guitarists and a lead singer. I think that's what the band consists of, and they do some covers like of Allman Brothers, like the song Melissa, for example, and other songs. Next up, we have Folk and Blueser, who's a really, he does some really beautiful acoustic, kind of Bob Dylan-ish kind of songs. His lyrics are incredible to hear. You know, that they have such authenticity to them, and his singing, it fits it so perfectly. Next up, we have Feisty Feather, who's I believe married to him, and she's also a great musician. Sometimes she's streaming Folk and Blueser stuff, like when he's at a place playing at an open mic or whatever. Next up, we have Folk Punk. He has sort of a distinct, unique kind of sound. Next up, we have Scapular Winging Records. You know, I can't remember what everybody sounds like. But I'll try and distinguish each musician, but you know, they're another great record. Well, I think Scapular Winging Records might be a kind of experimental, avant-garde kind of sounding. If anybody is watching this, you know, if Scapular Winging Records says that's not the case, and you know, then say so. But I think they sort of have an abstract kind of avant-garde sound. Next, we have Kathy Ogram. She's plays on the what do you call that? Clarinet. The clarinet. She does beautiful renditions of covers in her own. I don't know if she's. I think she's done original compositions, but she's really a wonder at the clarinet. Then we have Sad Snail, and I don't know if his first name is SIC or SICK, but he does this kind of techno kind of stuff, and he speeds up the tempo and slows it down, and very unique sound. We have next up another YouTuber. He streamed a few times. He streamed recently, Psycho Sevin. I watched his stream last night, and and his name's not spelled regular Psycho. It's spelled SYKO, and then Sevin is spelled SEVIN. But last night he was. I watched some of his stream last night, and he was teaching about music and about half steps and full steps. Music terminology, like the notes on the fretboard, and how to do I think like scales, or I might be messing some of these people's what they're saying. I don't mean to. He's teaching like how to progress in keys on the fretboard and octaves and stuff. If you see the stream from last night, it can be more explained. You can understand it better. But he also did a thing where he made the two circles, and he showed how like, I don't know, like music theory, or how the alphabet worked. You know, the musical alphabet worked on the fretboard, so that's pretty cool. So next up we have Me, Myself, and iPhone. He's really unique because he does all his songs on an iPhone. It's unbelievable what he can do with an iPhone. Next up we have 2 Canadians, Gary Hobbs and Hetriani. I think they've collaborated together. I'm pretty sure on that. and they've done, like, Hedrion has done a lot of heavy metal stuff, and I think Gary Hubs as well. Next up, we have Mad Musician. He does a lot of experimental avant-garde stuff. We have the Dog Paw. It's all one word, but the paw is just P-A. He does some interesting music. We've got Viv Sparro. Sparrow's not spelled like a sparrow. It's spelled S-P-A-R-R-O. So, she's a incredible voice, and she has a band that she sings with. Next up, we got Frank Terzo. He did an album, I think it's called Born in '64 or Made in '64, but his music is incredible. Very insightful kind of lyrics. Some of his songs I guess it's his stepdaughter sings on, and he's got a great band that backs him up on some of his tracks, and both electric and acoustic, he's fantastic at. Next up is Force of the Wolf Official. I'm trying to remember. Some of these people are not in America. He's in Europe, and I'm trying to remember which country he's in. Germany, maybe? Somewhere in Europe. Yeah, so take a look at his. Then next up we have Empirism. He uses like keyboards and synthesizers, and he can create elaborate rhythms with the keyboards and the synthesizers. And he sort of reminds me of Moog synthesizers, even though he's not using those. I think he said Korg he's using or something. And then he combines it with some guitar playing. Next up we have Welton Kinder, who's also in Europe. Empirism is somewhere in Europe. Finland, Norway, I can't remember, but he's in Europe. Welton Kinder is also, I believe, in Europe. I think Welton Kinder sings on a lot of his songs. Next up, we have a young man. I think most of the time he streams, and he can do some really great renditions of Van Halen. Like, he can do Eruption, and he can do Ice Cream Man, and he's very good at doing it. Really young guy, very good, and take a look at his streams when he's on. The next three people I'm mentioning, sometimes they're on all. Well, I guess I don't know if I've seen two of the guys on their own channels that much. I'm not quite sure on that, but they tend to be on this other guy's channel, and they're on, a few times every time. I mean, once or twice a week or so, or maybe more or less. I don't know. But the guy that runs that channel, well, his channel is called It's the 5150 Show. And some of these people that I'm getting to at the end here are Van Halen nuts. I mean, they love Van Halen. But anyways, the guy that runs is the 5150 Show is a guy named Andrew. He's from New Zealand, and he and his other two people on his show, Simon Williams and another person. Simon Williams is another channel, and then another channel who's also on their shows is Brad Cook, and his channel is Brad Cook Music or Brad Cook. I think it's Brad Cook Music. I think that's what it says on the YouTube. But anyways, they're on the shows together, and they one of the things they do is they cover an album. I think they call them Never Skip. Like, each song they cover, and they rate the song, and they say, is it a skip, or is it what I would include, if you are listening to the album, or skip that song. But he does much more than that, Andrew. He interviews people, independent of that, he interviews people all around the world, people talking about guitars, and he likes Eric Clapton a lot. and you know, they do cover, well, Van Halen's one, I guess. They cover Van Halen a bit. But they've covered other people too, other musicians. He's had a lot of people on. They analyze Dark Side of the Moon. So let me keep going. Then another person that streams, he's really, I would say probably, oh, you know what? I think, did I forget this guy? Oh, I just remembered him, and I'll put him at the 46th place. But anyways, this next guy's I would say another Van Halen nut. I mean, he's really into Van Halen, and his name is Johnny Beane, Beane. He streams a lot on his shows. I don't know if he's done regular videos. He tends to stream a lot. And he talks about guitars and you know, people that work on guitars and work. You know, he's had a disc jockey on before, and yeah. So yeah, it's the 50. I mean, Johnny Beane. So next up we got Janice Lalla. She does her originals and covers on her channel. Check her out. Last name is spelled Lalla. And next up we got Robbie Stingle. Robbie's kind of, he can play the guitar with his teeth. He worked at Kramer Guitar for a little while. His songs are incredible. He's a song-making machine. Like, he plays songs on the acoustic, the electric. He's got some gongs that he bangs, you know, when he's doing his song. So he started, and some of his songs, well, like he did one song called, what was it called? Like, Downhill Road to Death, or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of humorous about getting older. And the way he did this, one of the songs he did was sort of sound punkish, kind of sounding like he was shouting the lyrics. So it influenced a song that I did called Street Punk. It's the one with a picture of the Ramones on it. So yeah, he sort of influenced that. Let me get to the next person here. Adam Burse from the UK. Metalhead Hippie says he does like a lot of Swola Swola cover challenges. I forget what Swola is, but he plays the 8-string guitar. I don't know if he plays a 12-string. But I like his heavy, distorted guitar sound. So check him out. Next up, you got Fruitcake Tony. He's another Van Halen nut. I think like his favorite, and probably Johnny Beane. Well, I shouldn't say probably. Johnny Beane probably favorite band is with Van Halen. And Fruitcake Tony, like I said one time on his channel, like all roads lead to Van Halen. And I think he well, Johnny Beane, let me backtrack for a second. Johnny Beane, when people are on his chat, like he gives things away. Fruitcake Tony, he gives picks away. He covers, I think, various musicians during each stream, I believe. Next up, we got Guitar Meets Science. Jimmy. Guitar Meets Science is his channel. Jimmy's his name. But he used to do a stream on Sunday in the evening. And then after a while, he did it in mid-morning, or I think it was early afternoon, and then he stopped. I don't think he's been streaming for quite some time now. But he does put videos up with interesting, addressing interesting topics, either music, well, usually music-wise. I don't think it's anything else. And if you hear the starting of Metalhead Hippie Show, at the start or the end, he's the guy that plays the guitar for that. Next up, we have Boomer Bass Meme. He does very interesting kind of guitar sounds. I think he does traditional, regular music, but he does some really avant-garde kind of guitar sounds. So, yeah, check him out. Next up, we've got Hugh Caldwell, who can do. He's a killer on the guitar. He can do do the guitar like nobody's business. Coming out of Scotland, and then we got two more. Ian Luckett. I don't know if I've seen him recently on YouTube, but yeah, he sings on some songs. So check him out. He's located out of the UK. And then the last guy, just had him in my head and I lost him. Oh yeah, Tone King, the Tone King. The Tone King on his shows are usually at midnight Eastern time on Fridays, and he usually showcases a few guitars and addresses the costs and the quality of the guitars, and I guess it compares, one guitar to another, and whether they are no longer available or if they are. So yeah, his show's fantastic. It's about an hour long. So that concludes the video. I know I've excluded somebody from this video. I know I have. There's tons of more musicians out there. So I'm gonna have to make another list and do another video, because this video, I don't know. Now that I've done the list, I can check. Go back to iMovie and see how long I've been on. Oh, I've been on almost half an hour. So yeah, that does it for this video. And I don't know how soon, but I'll try. And at some point, I'm gonna try and put another music YouTuber shout out video up on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Won't keep it any longer. And check out these people's channels, because some of them might have a lot of subscribers, some of them might not, but in any case, show them your support, because they're creating great music and just keeping the flame of music alive or whatever. Okay, so thanks for watching, and have a good day. Bye now.